Welcome back to episode 7 of Wholeheartedly with
Kendall
and Galey. We are so happy to be here, and we have a lot of surprises for you today. It's probably why I sound so excited, and we'll be revealing that shortly. But what I wanted to start out by saying is, for all our listeners last week, we covered how people were scamming us on social media and using our NIL, name, image, and likeness, to pawn money off of people. And we talked about how my dog, Charlie, the actual love of my life, was in the emergency room with the vet after a really scary morning. And Kendall, you are not even going to believe what happened after we finished recording. And I drove my butt back over to the vet to see Charlie.
Real quick, how is Charlie doing? We've talked, but I'm sure the people need to know.
Yeah, so Charlie we're struggling with the bathroom stuff and getting her to eat. But, she seems to be in really good spirits, and, I have limited time with her. Her heart is really, it's broken, and you can't really super glue it back together. So I'm just trying to keep her as comfortable and happy and spoil the crap out of her. Basically, every day is Charlie's birthday in this house now. So we're smiling through it to keep her happy. But thank you for asking. So the craziness that is mercury in my Gatorade is continuing. So this is crazy. Right when we finished recording the pod, I drove back to lay with Charlie at the ER and just be with her and comfort her. And one of the ER vets, who I'd never met before, came up to me and she said, "This is unrelated to Charlie, but I just wanted to ask you and run this by you because I was following you on Facebook. I can't believe you're here. I didn't even know you lived in Fort Lauderdale. I was following you on Facebook, and I was trying to get you to come here and do my house in Fort Lauderdale, which is also where I live." And she's like, "So you can't message you on Facebook." So I created an Instagram account just to follow you so that I could message you about hiring you to design my house. And then I got this message from your production team, and I spent the last 3 weeks going down this rabbit hole of filling out casting paperwork and giving them a tour of my house. And I was ready to wire them $10,000 as the down payment. And then magically, I see your name on the list of patients that we have. And I realized, I put 2 and 2 together, and I realized that before I send this money, I should just double check with you. So just showed you their emails and make sure that's who I send the money to. And I was like, oh my gosh, you will not even believe this. I was just talking about this an hour ago on my podcast. Do not send the money. It is a scam. And so to add insult to injury, not only are they hurting people that I don't know who are really excited to have a home makeover, but now they're hurting the person who just saved my dog's life, right? Of all the people I want to thank and show gratitude toward and protect, it's the person literally saving my dog, my child. And now they're trying to hurt her too. So I said, it's a scam, block them, do not write them back. And also, here's my cell phone number. I will 100% do your house, and you are getting a home makeover. And I'm bumping you to the front of the list because of what you did for Charlie. So it all kind of worked out perfectly in the end, right? Because now I am getting to meet her and getting to do her house, and she literally saved my dog's life. So it's all a very happy ending. But mercury is definitely still in the Gatorade, y'all.
What the hell? How insane is that? Because we just talked about it, and I knew that you were running to the vet, and I was waiting for updates from you. And then you text me, and you're like, "You won't believe, I have to save it for the pod. You're not going to believe what happened." But how small of the world is it that then the vet, who is literally saving Charlie's life, who is clearly a lovely human. I mean, anybody that chooses to be a vet, it's a lot of school. It's very hard work. A doctor, vet, all that. But in particular, oh my God. What are the odds? How are they? Now, hold on. I have questions. I need to go and find out who these people are. I'm going to call up some buddies if we need to. And I know people who can hack. I know people who do things on the dark web. I don't do it, but I know people who know how to do it. I'm we need to get after them. This is disgusting. I'm ready to completely wage war.
I love your vigilante energy. Every time somebody is out there just putting bad stuff into the world, you're like, I ride at dawn, I ride at night, I ride at noon. Whenever you need me, I'm riding there. And I love it. So something we need to talk about that we started to talk about and then we realized, nope, save it for the pod. We have to talk about the fact that Kendall and I both have a proclivity to eat eggs in the morning. And it got me thinking, hang with me here, guys. I know that eggs come from chickens, and it's the female chicken. It's the hen, right? But what I didn't realize is that a hen will lay an egg every 24 to 26 hours, like one egg every day, but it never gets fertilized, and they don't need to have a rooster in order to lay these eggs. They just keep laying them. And then I started to realize that eggs are kind of like a chicken's period, because it just happens every day, and you don't need, like, we have periods whether there's a male around or not. So what are we eating every morning for real?
I'm gonna gag. Like the idea of it, but you're killing me, because I eat eggs I love eggs. They're such a personal, like, protein. They're perfectly balanced. They're great protein. They're not cheap anymore because everything's freaking expensive at the grocery store. But Galey, did you have to? Is this not one thing you thought, let me keep this to myself? Let me just not share this.
For real though, how else would you explain it? If your body was just producing something that naturally comes out every single day, but it's only the female of the species that is doing that, what else is it?
But also imagine, I feel bad for hens, because that's like being on your period every single day of your life, which that's already, that's trauma every day. Are they good? Ask the hen, are you good, girl? Are you okay? Because you're laying a bunch of eggs. You good, girl? Oh, I'm so excited for this one. There is a dream car that I've been wanting and considering purchasing for quite some time. And it's this baby. It's the Defender 110, because it is the most stunning mix of sport, of function, and honestly, of kind of sexy, badass luxury. What I love about it is that it's always up for adventure and to embrace any type of possibility. So as a California girl who's grown up from hiking to being in the city, going to nice dinners, and everything in between, the Defender is up for the adventure. The iconic vehicle has been redefined with that modern design that makes it stand out on the road. The exterior is reimagined with compelling proportions and that really cool, precise detailing. And then the interior, it's that luxury with function that I just absolutely ogle over. The Defender capability is absolutely legendary. Whether you're taking those off-road challenges, going up Topanga Canyon, going for those really fun hikes, or you're in harsh weather conditions, ready for a wide range of adventures, the Defender family features the two-door Defender 90, which is a vibe, the Defender 110, which for me I think would be my perfect car, and the Defender 130, which seats up to 8. Learn more at LandRoverUSA.com/Defender.
But speaking of snacks, you went to the U.S. Open, and I was watching your stories, and you looked hella cute, and I feel like everybody is seeing glimpses of Shadowman on your social, but we're not. I mean, I know him and I know his name, but how are you handling being out in public, but also trying to keep it private? That's got to be such a delicate rope to walk.
Great, Taylor social delicate. Anyway, yes, it has been a very interesting. Honestly, I'm just getting really tired of it. If I'm being completely transparent, I think it was really important, especially as we started dating. And you get this too. You have a ton of people follow you. Hell, you have people who are scamming other people pretending to be you. So you know how delicate it is when you're starting to date somebody new. You don't know where things are going to go. I felt very strongly about where Shadowman and I were at, how we connected. We're both older. We've both been through a lot of things. So we could connect very easily and kind of have those discussions quickly. But I didn't want to throw him out. I hate to say it, but throw him to the wolves. And, he didn't ask for this kind of life that I've built for myself. And I've been single for a very long time. So yeah, so we were out and about. There's US Open and Fashion Week in New York happen about the same time. So I keep getting invited to these events, which is great. And I'm like, okay, now that I have the free time, now that I don't have to ask somebody for permission, which I had to previously at my old job, which was kind of wild. I was like, let me go to these events and, you know, meet new people, network, have fun, all this stuff. So we went to this event with Philip Lim. Really cool at the showroom. Was excited to go, kind of nervous because I'm like, I love fashion, but I don't consider myself like a fashion girly. I'm like, I'm not in like the New York Fashion Week scene. So I'm kind of like in there like, oh yeah, I'm the workout chick. What's up? Anyway, so we show up at this event and there's a photographer there. And so we're taking photos. She's taking photos of me, and Shadowman kind of is like, oh, I'll let you do it. And I was like, you know what? No, take the photo with me, babe. Let's take some photos. He's a very attractive man. So I was like, you know what? It's time. I'm kind of really sick of it. I get that feedback on Instagram a lot where people are like, stop doing this, girl. But we wanted it to be at our own time. So I don't know. I think I'm kind of ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready to bring Shadowman out of the shadows?
Out of the shadows and into the light. I hate myself for that. Honestly, yeah, I really am. He's such a wonderful person and has been a big reason why my happiness and my peace has grown. I know you've seen it. It's wild too when complete strangers on the internet, or not complete strangers, but people that have followed me for a really long time, they're sending me DMs and commenting and saying, oh my God, you're glowing. Wow, this. It's so fascinating when people can pick up on things like that, even just through a screen. So yeah, I think it's time. Should we do it here first? Should we introduce him on Wholeheartedly, because this is such a great community of people and I think they deserve to know first?
And honestly, I think this is the best way for you to control your own narrative and you to take ownership of the relationship and how you want to introduce it, and it not be leaked in some photos into some magazine or some blogger who just took it without you knowing, because that's not fair. So I love that you're taking control of the situation and you're standing in your power. And you are glowing. Ever since you met him, you have been glowing. And I think that other people will understand why once they meet him. So I think we should bring him out of the shadows.
All right. So you've seen him like this for a very long time. And I think it's time for him to come out of the shadows. Everybody,
are you ready for it?
Meet Alex.
Hello. Hello, Wholeheartedly.
Why am I nervous? Like, this is so wild.
You're talking to like your two best friends.
I know I am. That's actually very true. But everybody, this is Alex. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Galey, good to see you.
So good to see you. And I love that we can refer to you as Alex now, and we don't have to keep calling you Shadowman because the jig is up. And I just want to say, as one of her best friends, thank you for all you've done for my girl, because you've been there for her through a really stressful, chaotic time of leaving her stable, steady career to bet on herself. You have been there for her with some difficult things, from her roof leaks to friendships and things like that. And you've just been such a constant for her. And the way, when she first told me about you, the way she spoke about you, I almost didn't believe it. But now that I know you, it's legit. And that's what makes me so happy, because she got a real good one.
That's super sweet of you. Well, I'm here, everyone. Sorry to drag it out. It definitely wasn't our intention at all. I think it was just a form of like protection towards each other. And, you know, I think we, hit it off really quickly in our relationship, and we're on the same page. Kendall has a large following. I don't really. And again, we have so much respect for each other. And, you know, if something did go sideways early on and we announced that we are a couple, like, we wouldn't want that collateral on each other, right? It's kind of common sense. So yeah, I mean, we definitely weren't really trying to play into this whole like role of like Shadowman and like hiding. It was just kind of like protecting each other.
But it kind of just happened.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
From a photo on a sidewalk in Soho, which is crazy.
And that's the irony of it, was we were on an earlier date in Soho. It was a really fun day in the city. It was kind of chilly. We're walking around. Of course, I left my phone in a store and he went to go get it, because scatterbrained Kenny leaving phones and things, which Galey, you know that. But we were taking a little video of the two of us, or I was taking one on my phone just to save it. And I accidentally posted it not onto close friends on my Instagram stories, but onto like my actual Instagram story.
Did you? Or was it?
Oh, no,
or maybe you wanted to stir some.
Oh, did I want to stir the pot?
Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't want to stir the pot. And I was like, oh no. We're not at that place yet. Like, we haven't talked about how we're going to introduce him, all those things. I knew how I felt about him, but I was just like, Urgh. So I took it down really quickly. But I already gotten so many DMs. So I was like, I have to acknowledge that there's someone in my life without it being like I'm completely passing over it and he's an accident, or I don't want people to know that I'm in a relationship, because I wanted people to know I was taken and that I was very happy, but I wanted to protect him and our relationship and what we were building. So at the end of a carousel post, I put like a little photo of our two shadows. And I think it was actually your buddy who commented on the photo and goes, "Ooh, Shadowman." And then all of a sudden, everybody started calling him Shadowman in the comments. And I'm like, babe, I think that's your nickname.
Yeah. So I guess it's stuck for quite some time, but no longer. Yeah. I'm just Alex.
Just Alex.
Yeah, just Alex.
There's no just. You are Alex, and you are amazing. Yes. And so this is now going from our usual Wholeheartedly pod to a Q&A with Kendall and Alex, because I am now sitting in the interviewer role and I want to learn all of the things about your relationship that everybody is wanting to know, because we're taking control of the narrative and we're putting it out there. So
for the record, this is not, there was no pre-question
no.
Sir Alex. Like, this is all live. Like, sorry, Wholeheartedly crew. Like, I don't know what's about to come at me, and I sincerely mean that. So Galey, be nice.
Oh, you know I will be nice. I love you guys. But I also do my due diligence. So I was watching Newlywed Games. I was just coming up with all the questions I could last night because I was so excited about this. Okay. So first off, I think a good kind of base place to start is, can you guys just share how you met and what that looked like?
You want me to take it? I'll take it.
We'll go off each other. Yeah. Go.
Okay. So we both were on a dating app. We'll call it what it is. They get free advertisement. Thank you, Raya. We were both on Raya. And you messaged me in like October or something. And I didn't message back because I didn't check Raya. I was on a dating app because I was like, Kendall, you need to like try, which I wasn't trying very hard. So he messaged me. I didn't message back. You messaged me again.
You remember what I said?
What did you said? Something sassy.
I wasn't sassy. It was just like, wow, like the second message is really tough. Like, come on, like, who do you think? Like, just send me a hey, what's up? You know, like, just tongue in cheek. Like, I was definitely being sarcastic, but you responded, and you're like, oh yeah, like I should respond. You know?
And I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm really sorry. It was over Thanksgiving too. By the time I saw it, or we responded, and I was like, I'm with my family, whatnot. I was like, what are you doing for the holiday? And then you left me on red for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so he pokes. Hold on. He was like, excuse you. And then I respond back. And then I didn't get a response. And I was like, whatever. Okay, cool. It's Raya. Nobody talks. I'm used to this.
It's a classic dating app. Like, this is how it starts. This is how it ends. And
yeah,
we're both guilty.
Okay. Real question here. So, Alex, was that part of a strategy, or did you genuinely just not see it and you were off it? Because you did pretty closely follow the first one with the second one, so you were on there looking. So were you playing a game, or what were you doing?
Well, between my first, like, very, very first message and the like follow up, it wasn't like a day or two. Like, it was like there's time. Like, I definitely am like not staying there waiting for.
No, it was like a week.
I mean, of course I wanted you to respond, but I wasn't saying like waiting. But no, like I wasn't playing a game. I don't know why I didn't respond right away. Honestly, I don't think so. It gets honest. I don't remember. It was so long ago, but for me, like, I was single for so long, Galey. Like, I was single for like 3-ish years, and completely by choice. And I was just stepping into like dating again. It's intimidating. Like, I don't want to go like take girls on dates and do this thing where I have to go on 2 or 3 dates a week and go drinks. Like, I'm not interested in that. Like, I just want to, like, it's a job, and I don't want that job. Like, I know my values. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And I just kind of want to like find that person and hit it off. And eventually I responded, I guess.
Eventually he got smart and responded.
Yeah.
No, but I wasn't really active on the app either anyway. And so I think it was around, when did we actually start really talking? I wanted to screenshot the conversation, but you're not allowed to screenshot on Raya without getting like kicked off it.
It was like a week or two before that Lulu shoot you had.
Oh.
Whenever
no, I wasn't. No, it was LA. It was for Don't Quit.
Okay. Yep.
You know, it's funny. And we got to thank my hair girl, because I had to go back to LA. I was like, screw it. My hair was growing out so much and I need to get reblonded. And the only woman that I trust is in Beverly Hills. Her name's, guys, it's called Beaumaine Salon. I'm giving her a huge plug. She is iconic. It has saved my hair. It's the reason it's grown. So I was like, I need to get my hair redone. We had a new asset photo shoot for Peloton. And then I had a Lululemon photo shoot coming up. And my hair was like two-toned. I was like, no. So I had enough points on one of my airlines. So I was like, let me just fly to LA on points do like a 24-hour moment in LA, get my hair done. And then there was a shoot for Don't Quit that I'm a part of that they made happen because I was on the West Coast and then flew back. So we were finally talking on Raya pretty consistently. We didn't have a lot of conversation.
It was like a bit back and forth. Yeah.
A little back and forth. And then I remember I was at the airport and at Newark, and I was talking to my dad, and he sends a message and he's like, "Hey, do you want to just FaceTime?"
Wait, there's a little story before that.
Wait, what am I missing?
So I asked, you gave me your number.
Oh, I did.
Okay, so she gave me her number and I texted her, right? Like let's move this off this horrible app and let's text like normal people. So I go to text her and there's like no response for a full day. I'm like, really? I'm like, this is so weird. She's giving me her number. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's busy. Fine. I don't know what's going on. So I go back to the app. I'm like, hey, I sent you a text. Like it may have went to your unknown folder in iMessage, which is like a folder now. So sure enough, my text did go to her unknown folder on her phone and finally got like the text back. Yeah. So that was kind of like a big question. I was like, really? Like,
hold on. What did you have told people? You're like, who does this chick think she is?
Who does she think she is? And I'm like, I everything else is great, but like I need a nice, good, loving person. You know, I'm like, just come on. This isn't like grade school. Like, just text me back. It's not that big of a deal. So
I think that's when you realize that this was actually your, I guess not a red flag, but a beige flag about me, that I'm a little scatterbrained and I'm a little ADHD sure. And I'm not always going to respond back, which Galey can attest to. Even though I read it and I consume it, I'm like, what? A little airy.
So fast forward, you're on your flight. You're texting. I'm like, do you want to FaceTime?
Mm-hmm.
So we jumped on FaceTime, and sure enough, your flight was delayed by like a couple hours.
Yeah, I think an hour and a half, because it was a Boeing flight where the door was about to like fall off. And I was like, oh, shoot. So we literally taxied onto the tarmac, and then we had to go back to the gate to change out the door. And then we could finally fly to LA. So I had all this time on FaceTime, and it was so funny. I had, thank God for points, because I would have never paid for this, but I got to sit in first class because they have like the cubbies. And I was like, ooh, then I can like lay down and get a nap, whatever. So I'm in my little cubby section on a first date with him, essentially. Like, we're asking all the basics, a FaceTime first date from the plane while it's delayed.
7A, seat 7A.
It was 7A.
No,
oh,
really?
I think it was. Yeah. I seriously think it was.
I totally made that up.
Wow.
Are you?
We're in sync. I honestly think it was. I usually sit
we need to
in
check
an odd number row. I can look. Anyway, so we kind of had that date. I landed in LA. We finally took off, landed in LA. It's really late. And there was this really adorable guy behind me. And he was super sassy. And he tapped me on the shoulder and he goes, sounded like a great first date. I like him. because we weren't talking on speaker, but he could hear my responses and stuff. And so it was just really cute because he was like, I hope it works out. He was like kind of listening and invested. And I was like, oh God, okay, this is embarrassing. I just had a first date on a plane. But at the same time, it was lovely feedback from a stranger that they were supportive. Anyway, okay, we've talked enough. Ask your next question.
Yeah, next.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. And I love going to restaurants, and Dale and I will look around and try and figure out which couples are on their first date, because you can tell by their body language and the flow of the conversation. You can tell by the nerves versus the comfort level. If you're comfortable just sitting and eating and not talking, it's been like 3+ years. And if somebody always has to be talking, it's a first date. So those are the best to eavesdrop on. So you're welcome to 8C for getting to experience Kendall in a 7C. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, it's going to be like a rapid fire, really quick. I'm going to ask a question and you're going to say the person's name. So it's going to be like, who hogs the covers? And like, Kendall, if it's you, you say Kendall. And Alex, if it's Kendall, you say Kendall. Okay? So for the people not watching on YouTube, they won't be able to see your hand raise or like point at each other. And if you say me, that won't be clear. So just say the person's name at the same time. Okay. Here we go. First one. Who hogs the covers?
Kendall.
The fact that I knew that too, and I literally called that for both of you.
I need to be swaddled and cocooned when I sleep, okay? I love to be like a bug in a rug. It's the best. Sorry, babe.
I think we all know that for some reason. You hog the covers. Okay. Who is the pickier eater?
Alex.
Kendall. Okay, wait. Okay. Here's a good story. So we got back from, where was it, Florida or LA? I can't remember. we got back super late. Flight was delayed. It was canceled. Our go-to meal when we're in a pinch that's healthy, super quick, is like protein pasta by Barilla. So there's their plug. But so it takes 10 minutes to make, super quick. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to make some like Rouse like sauce, which I guess isn't healthy for you anymore. I think there's ingredients in it.
I think they got bought out by a different company, and now it's questionable. Anyways,
so I make the pasta really quickly. It's like 12:30 at night, or I guess in the morning. And so I make it. I put the sauce in the pasta. I'm like mixing it, right? And I like put hers like in a bowl to like bring it to the table, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, no!" I'm like, "What do you mean?" No,
I was nice about it.
No, you were nice, but I was defeated because we were like delayed, late night, long couple days working, and she was like, "I don't like tomato sauce." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't like tomato sauce?"
As an Italian, I have a caveat. So I don't like canned tomato sauce that you can just buy at the store. Like, this is where I'm bougie. I have to make tomato sauce myself, or I'll make it, or I'll cook it, or if it's my mom's, it's different. But like just general canned sauce that you just pour on top, I hate it. I can't do it. So usually what I do is I'll just do plain pasta, olive oil, a pound of Parmesan cheese. It's mostly cheese, let's be real. And that's what I was thinking in my head. And I didn't communicate that to him because it was late, and I was just
that's what we do when we're like very young. We're like 8, 9, 10. We have Parmesan cheese on
or butter
noodles, right? I think maybe we both have our moments, but we both eat well,
We both eat well. I think you're pickier with you hate cucumbers.
I don't like cucumbers for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I don't like cucumbers in sushi. Like, it's like there's no taste to it. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get sushi and I'll start I don't know.
I kind of don't feel like either of you are that picky because you're only able to both point to one thing that the person doesn't like to eat, as opposed to every meal you pick stuff out, which is me, and Dale has to put up with it. So I think that classifies as neither of you are picky. Okay, next question. Who orders more on Amazon?
Kendall.
Okay, we're in agreement. Who is more disciplined?
Alex.
Really?
It's weird saying myself. I think we're both disciplined in our certain disciplines.
You're much more routine focused. Like, you have certain disciplines that you're always like, you love to play tennis. You're very disciplined with going to the gym. You're more like,
which is like
routine on timing. I'm very, very disciplined, but I think I'm just used to my life being so chaotic that, I don't know. I think I'm more freeform disciplined than you. I think you're more of like a regimented traditional discipline.
Yeah, I don't know. It's both though. I think we've been so busy where you're really good at just getting it done. If you have 1,000 things on the list, like you get it done. And they say if you need something done, give it to a busy person. Which is true.
That's true.
That is true. Find the busiest person and they will get it done before anybody else.
Yeah, you're the queen of that, Galey. You truly are like the most disciplined person I know.
So I would say, Kendall, you are organized chaos, and Alex, you are just organized.
Yes. That's exactly it.
That's fair.
Yep.
Okay, I think everybody knows the answer to this question from Kendall's previous stories, but who is cleaner?
Alex.
See, now it's like there's this guy on like Instagram that would like iron his like sheets and like place everything like perfectly.
Oh yeah, you're not American Psycho.
I'm not that, but like I just like it like organized. It makes me like, if everything's organized, like that means like my brain is like organized and like I feel like grounded and I feel like calibrated, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I have like stuff everywhere, like I need to go on a walk and like get my brain out or something.
Yeah.
Like it reflects my environment, reflects my mind. So I try to like have the good environment to keep my mind. I don't know.
But be around that, because I love when things are organized, but I get overwhelmed. And so it'll be a little bit messy. And then I get overwhelmed by the idea of having to reorganize it rather than, and one of the things I love about Alex is that he always keeps it organized and minimal. And it's brought a lot of peace into my life because it allows me to kind of like fall into that same energy. So it's been very supportive and helpful in that front.
I fully co-sign that mentality. If I have a lot of work to do and my house isn't clean, I have to clean it before I can start the work. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to focus and I'm going to feel really scattered. So I know my work will be better and benefit from me cleaning and organizing first. At least that's what I tell myself. Okay. Who usually makes the first move?
Oh, like
first date, first type move, or like first?
No, like who makes the first move? Like, you know what I'm saying.
who initiates?
Yeah.
It's both.
I think we're pretty even on that.
And we don't have like a standard, like we don't like set like a weird standard or like hold things over each other's head. Like we're busy. We don't force things. There's no need to create something out of nothing, if that makes sense. I don't even know what city I'm in right now. We've been like 5 cities in like 3 days.
I will say this entire relationship, bless his heart, because the majority of it has happened in other states, in hotels, on planes.
On planes?
No, not no, not
like, what?
No, we have not joined the Mile High Club.
Relationship, not the other stuff has happened in these places.
Not like intimate.
Yeah, we're on the go and we just make it work and that's it.
Yeah, we're good. We'd be really good. Well, I wouldn't be good. I think you'd be great at Amazing Race. I would just be a stress ball. It'd be fun. But it'd be fun.
We could do it.
We could.
I think you guys would win. Like you're the fit couple. Okay, who said I love you first?
Alex.
Oh yay!
It was at the point, like it was pretty early. We knew how connected we were. We knew how I knew I was in love with him. I think you knew that you were in love with me.
Obviously.
Well, yes, but you were a little bit nervous about it. So we were at his place in DC and we were going to go out to dinner. And part of me was I never have overthought with our relationship, but I was starting to be like, when's he going to DTR this? Like DTR means defining the relationship. Like,
I did not know that.
Yes. You have sisters, babe. I feel like you should know that. But I was like, when is he going to ask me to be his girlfriend? Because like, I know how strong our feelings are, but he hasn't even asked me to be his girlfriend. What's going on? So we're about to leave. You're in the kitchen. You're like, here, come into the kitchen. And I was like, okay. And so I come into the kitchen and you hug me and you give me a kiss and you like stare at me like really intently. I'm like, oh, he's going to ask me to be his girlfriend.
It wasn't.
No, but but you could tell that there was energy there. Like I was like, oh, he's about to ask me something. Yeah. Come on, I'm a woman. We're intuitive. Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's going to ask me to be his girlfriend. Like freaking finally. So he goes, I love you, right? And I was like, yeah, wait. I was like, well, yeah, hold on. Am I your girlfriend though? Like, and I don't know why I had it in my head that we needed to define the relationship before you're allowed to say I love you to somebody. But then I was like, well, yeah, I love you too. And then I was like, wait, does that mean I'm your girlfriend now? And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, you were going to ask? Like, what?
Well, listen, I think I love you. The 3 words are very powerful. Mm-hmm. I think they're very, like, they should not be loosely thrown around to anyone or anything. And I definitely wasn't scared to say it, but you kind of think of your past and like what you've been through and how you've been hurt. And like, it means a lot to me to say that to someone. And I know for her too. So yeah, I feel like if you say, I love you, it's like that's, I think it's almost bigger than saying, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?
No, it is bigger. That's why I was like, oh, we're just going to skip over the girlfriend conversation.
Yeah. We just went right into it.
No, I like it. It worked out great. It was very sweet.
We had a great dinner.
We did. We always go to this one restaurant. We won't say it on here, but there's a restaurant in DC we go to often. And it feels like every big milestone in our relationship, we end up going there and celebrating.
The food's great.
Yeah, the food is great. Great food in DC. All right, next one. Yep, he said it first.
I love that. I love that so much. Okay, who apologizes first?
I don't know if we can like say like a name on this. Like, I think we both. First of all,
we both do.
I think we have a very healthy relationship, and the one thing that I can definitely speak for us both is that we have a tremendous amount of respect for each other, and that was like really day one of like, I appreciate what you've done with your work. I appreciate where you want to go. Like, I understand the work. I know what you've been through. So like that was so understood from day one. So like we don't get in like fights. Like that's not a thing. I think it's more so like there's daily life stress that gets involved sometimes, and people have their moments, right? Like, you have a ton going on with work, or you had stressful calls and some things didn't go right with other situations that day. And you do take it out on your person, and you don't mean to, but it just kind of happens. So like we get that. Like I can give out passes on stuff like that because we're human. Like it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, we don't fight. So I don't think we've said sorry a lot. Like we just haven't had to. And
I definitely have when like I can get stressed and overwhelmed. I'm the first person to say it.
Yeah.
Like I can get overstimulated and be like, what? Like, and it's just a moment and I'm like, damn it, that was embarrassing. Or I'll be like, oh babe, I'm sorry. I'm like in a moment or I'm in a mode right now. And I think what's great with him is that
I call you out.
you do. You call me out. You called me out yesterday validly, even though I didn't want to be called out yesterday because I was just overwhelmed by like trying to coordinate and travel and get from A to Z. But what was good about that was I was like, okay. And we talked about this yesterday and he's like, I think we need a word. Like we need a word that isn't me telling you to chill because I know that's not going to
that does not
never work.
help, and
And
I know that.
he didn't tell me to chill.
I have two sisters.
Chill
That's
time.
never worked. Like telling a girl to chill.
No.
Will never work.
That's gonna
relax. The
Or, like,
word relax
Or
sends
relax.
me. Just relax, or like I can't. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, you're like, I will go absolutely nuclear. Yeah, that is like, you want me to go from 0 to like 2000, it's chill or relax, or
Yep.
stop being emotional, or don't be crazy. Like those are my 4 trigger words that are absolutely no. But what was nice was we were talking and he's like, look, if you're feeling overwhelmed and it's just, I can see that you're getting there. Like, I think we need a word for when we're both feeling that way. That's kind of like, hey,
And it's not me.
calm.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not a personal thing, but like, I'm concerned because I can tell that you're getting hyper stressed. And it's a way for us to communicate, like, I'm here for you through this and we can do this.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be like nitpicky or
Not
like,
nagging.
But you
We don't
under
nag.
yeah, no, but like
Wait.
hey,
So
like
what is? Hold on. What is the word?
So it's an Italian word and you're like, okay, this will work. It's like, it's tranquilla. Like just tranquilla. Because you,
tranquil.
yeah, it's kind of funny because it's silly when you say it. Right. So kind of diffuse it a little bit like tranquilla. Like, you
But
know,
it's like it needs to be like the Switzerland, kind of come in neutral. Like I'm not saying this to like make you mad or you're super stressed. I'm trying to calm you down. Right, it's just like, all right, I love you, and I'm coming from a place of like caring. Like this has nothing to do with me or you. It's just like,
let's diffuse the situation.
yeah, let's just like it's all good.
Yeah.
And none of these situations are that big. You know?
Mhm.
It's so funny and it's interesting how relationships find their own cadence and their own way of problem solving. And Dale and I literally are in that same spot. And our word is penguin because it reminds us of something that it's something that happened in like our second date that he said that was so funny and random. And so it makes us laugh. So whenever we're in that place of like feeling kind of hostile and just not work, so one of us is in a funk and the other person just is trying to be like, hey, calm down, it's going to be fine, and also don't take it out on me. You just say penguin and it just kind of diffuses it. So it's interesting that relationships kind of come to that same reality, right, of having that word that pulls you out of it. So I actually think that's great advice, and I love tranquila. Okay, it makes me think of tequila though, which is a little wild. I don't know about you guys, but I keep getting TikToked. What I mean is I'm watching TikToks. I see all these people talking about their TikTok shop. Something showed up at my door last week and it was facial products, and I just started using it. And then I put 2 and 2 together and realized I didn't order this, but OneSkin sent me samples to use for this ad. And full disclosure, I am obsessed and I'm going to continue ordering it for myself because it works so well. I got the face topical supplement and the eye topical supplement. So I do it once in the morning and once at night before I go to bed. And when I tell you my skin is glowing, it's glowing. OneSkin's topical supplements are powered by their proprietary peptide OS1, scientifically proven to target the dysfunctional senescent cells that start to accumulate around age 30. These are the cells that make skin dull and dry and more prone to those lines and wrinkles we're all trying to avoid. Plus, all of OneSkin's products for the face and body, including their new mineral sunscreens, are backed by lab and clinical studies, and this is my favorite part. They have more than 8,000 5-star reviews. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin for 15% off using code WHOLEHEART when you check out at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code WHOLEHEART. Start your new scientifically proven skincare routine today with OneSkin. Okay, so now these are different questions. These are not so much like say the person's name, but just wanting to understand you guys a little bit better. Well, I feel like I do, but this is for the people who want to know. So Kendall, we know you are an amazing chef, and shout out to anyone who hasn't yet signed up for her newsletter. It just came out last night. I got the first one and it is freaking epic. She has these amazing recipes and breaks them down so that even a non-chef like myself can make a bomb meal and impress somebody if you want to. But also there's workout advice and mental health stuff on there. And if you are not signed up, what are you doing? But I wanted to first ask you, Kendall, because you're such a good chef, and we all know that in the beginning of relationships, we put our best spoon forward. What was your show off meal, the first meal that you made for Alex to really impress him?
Begins with an F.
Yep. So it has actually become a staple in our relationship, and it's one of my favorite things. The first time you came up to visit me in New York, I was like, okay, I'm pulling out all the stops. I made homemade focaccia, a spicy, like kind of carbone-inspired pasta that was also high protein. And then did I make the chocolate mousse that was healthy?
Yes.
Yep. That man got a 3-course meal. It was like
So
a
good.
whole thing.
So good.
And you were
What was going through your mind as she sets the plate down and you're smelling it and you're seeing it and you take your first bite? Were you just like, I'm ruined. I'm never going to want to leave this part. Like, this is it for me. I'm done. I can't, this is as good as it will ever possibly get with this girl. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a couple things went through my mind. I think number one, like, shout out to my parents. Like, I was absolutely spoiled as a child. My mom and dad are amazing cooks, like incredible. Like, I was very lucky to always have like a fresh meal, like super healthy, very clean. So my parents honestly set the bar very high. Little did you know. But no, it honestly, like, to me, like, cooking is a love language. And like, spend time, you want to like prepare it well, you want them to enjoy it, you want to enjoy it together. Like, I think it's such a kind thing to do. And it's not easy to like make 3 really good dishes.
bread from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, from scratch, right? So like, yeah, I mean, to respect it.
You just kept being like, wow.
It was good.
Wow.
It was, no, I mean, it was good. Also,
Great.
but also we eat so late. For just so everyone knows, we eat between like 9 and like 11 p.m.
We might as well be
maybe 10:30, 9. Like, we eat super late. So
Yeah.
I think by the time like you and I are both so hungry, it's like everything's good.
Oh, okay.
No, that's like,
We're going to eat dinner at 6 p.m. and I'm going to
No,
show you how good my
that
cooking
came
is,
out wrong.
babe.
No.
No, I know.
You know what I think?
He's like, reverse.
Like, yeah. Anyways.
No. I know what you were saying. Yeah, it was really fun. It was fun to get to surprise him with a meal and all the Italian cooking that I love so much. And then the best part is, and we kind of talked about it early because I made sure to set this in stone. This is what I learned from my parents.
God.
And this is funny. You said this like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, look, if I cook, and he goes, well, yeah, like, I'll clean up. So joke's on him, because I think he's now realized this far into our relationship that I'm pretty much always going to cook and he's pretty much always cleaning up. And he's like, I don't understand how you did this, but I think I'm going to be cleaning up dishes the rest of my life. And I was like, yeah, probably, babe, probably. But you'll be well fed, so you can have the energy to do it.
Yeah, that has to be a rule. I think everyone has to establish that.
Yeah, we have a couple good rules.
Yeah, but they're like they're common sense. Like, that's where we're here for common sense.
Well, it's common sense if you guys base things off of the same logic, right? Sometimes you feel like somebody who is completely illogical and their sense is nonsensical to you, but it's just because you're not founded in the same logic, which is why if your families have the same value system of we both like pitch in, we both help out, we both contribute to the household needs, then logically it makes sense. So that's great. Okay. What is the first sweet thing that Alex did for you?
Oh, this is great. This is wild. This is before we even met in person.
Ooh.
We were talking.
I felt weird about it too.
You should
bit.
hold on. Let's
You
not
can tell story. Okay, go
like
ahead.
wait.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, this was such a win. This was a big reason why I was like, okay, cool. I think we're on the same page, because I would do this for somebody. So we started talking officially. That whole plane conversation happened like it was January the 17th. I remember this because I saved it and I took a photo. I was like, I think I need to know this day. I just had a sense that I should remember it. And so when I got back from Los Angeles and I was in New York, my birthday was coming up because my birthday's on the 28th. And my mom was going to come out and spend some time with me. And so we were talking, we were FaceTiming a lot. My mom wasn't there yet. So we'd spend like a couple hours on FaceTime every day, just chatting, talking, going through all of our past relationship trauma, what we believe in relationships, what we want. And we realized we were really on the same page. I kid you not. This is such a testament to if he wanted to, he would. Because sorry, babe. It's true, though. It's so true because you really do. And you are a prime example of that. But I was talking about this candle brand that I love. And it's called True Dawn. It's these expensive, beautiful, stunning, like all black candles.
It was like $100.
Yeah, but that's expensive for a candle.
Yeah. But like it wasn't. Yeah, but like expensive is like very subjective in today's world.
True, but I still consider a candle that's
TJ Maxx candle.
But you know what? We go to TJ Maxx a lot, and we go to Ross. We go to Ross.
I heard that. I was sitting over in my corner while you guys were recording
we do
first, and I was listening to your ad reads.
Yeah, and we get our candles.
Right, so
anyway, so back to it. So I talked off the cuff about this candle, and then it was sold out, and it was this great scent called Ernesto that I loved. Sure enough, he's like, "Hey, can you send me your address?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'll be fine." And he's like, "I just want to do something. I know your birthday's coming up."
Permission, though.
You asked for permission.
I was like, I don't know if this feels right.
And I was like, "No, that's totally fine. We've talked. Yeah, no, I appreciate that." And I was like, "Oh, he's probably going to send me flowers for my birthday. That's very, very nice." So birthday comes around on Sunday. Nothing shows up, which is fine. And then Monday, he's like, "Oh, I'm double checking on this. Okay, it should be to you on Monday." So my mom is in town at this point. Susie's in town. And she's like, "Oh, honey, you got a package. It's like heavy." Like, what? And the return address was from some brand. It was Net-a-Porter, I think. And so I open it up. There's the sweetest note that I have kept that was like from the brand. And it was something very sweet about my birthday or whatnot. Shoot, I forgot what it was. I have a photo of it somewhere. And I opened up the box, and it is the sold out True Dawn candle that I could not find anywhere. You couldn't purchase it anywhere. It was sold out everywhere online. And he somehow managed to not only find one, but get one sent to me for my birthday. And I looked at my mom, and my mom looked at me, and she goes, "Oh, damn, honey. Oh, damn." And I was like, wow, this guy like really, not only was he thoughtful, he listened to something I said off the cuff. He knows how much I like it. He remembered, and he found a way to order it and have it sent to me when it was sold out. I was floored.
Yeah, I mean, I also was very timid to do that because, listen, I have two sisters, and like I never wanted to come off like to like, oh, let me buy this for her, let me like do this, or like let me try to like buy her something so she's like happy. Like I don't want to be that person, or like do something that too early, like that kind of rubs me the wrong way when people are like aggressive. Mm-hmm. Not that I thought that was it, but anyway, so. Yeah, like asked you for like, I'm like, oh, do you mind if I send you a little something for your birthday? And what was it?
Yep.
It was a candle.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love the effort and the thought that went into it. It wasn't just like jumping on Amazon and hitting something the day before, which we all appreciate that, but there's a lot more effort that goes into hunting something down and like nailing the date. So the
hunting thing, I was like, ooh, that's attractive. I like that.
I bet CIA Susie was like, ooh, he's got my skills.
Yeah. Susie was like, impressive. Wow.
Okay. And last question before we go over to our Wholeheartedly Instagram and some of the relationship questions that people asked, which I loved. When did you both know like this was real? Like, ooh, I am catching real feelings.
Yeah. So we met in person right before.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Alex is like the first day we met in person.
No, that sounds crazy. Oh my God.
When did you know it was real? Well, the day we met.
No, the reason why. Okay, so the reason why I bring it up is we met in person for coffee for like an hour and a half. I don't know what day it was
on. January 30th.
Okay, it was January 30th.
No, January 31st.
Okay, it was in January, and I actually had a flight out of New York that night. I was going on a ski trip overseas, and I was like, just let's meet up real quick, like just grab coffee. I don't say transition, but from FaceTiming on the phone every day to in person, it was the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like there was zero like, oh my gosh, like is she shorter? Is she taller? Am I taller? Like it was like none of it. It's just like this is the same thing. It felt so natural and so like, oh, there she is. And you don't believe it until it happens to you, but there's just like a knowing that mm-hmm. happens in your life with certain things. Maybe it's career, maybe it's relationship, maybe it's I don't know, anything. But I had that knowing very quickly, and I was like, okay, like it's starting, and the past is completely over. So That's when I.
Yeah. Well, and so we were at Maman in Tribeca because he was working.
Was that WeWork? Yeah.
You were at WeWork in Tribeca getting a little work done. And I noticed you like shared your location with me. You're like, yeah, like I'm around here, whatever. And I looked and I'm like, my goodness, I am less than a mile away. If I do not make a point to see this guy, I'm going to be upset. Granted, I had just gotten the candle like 2 days before, and we've continued to talk all this stuff. So we've built up a lot of conversation. I was like, I need to see him. So I was like, oh, did you have time for coffee? I don't know if you have meetings or anything like that. He's like, no, I can get a coffee. I was like, okay, great. So I get in an Uber. I'm like so nervous and like, oh God, like,
wait, hold on. So you scheduled this while you were already out and about. It wasn't like it was pre-planned. So you already had picked out the outfit you were going to see him in. You had a good hair day. Like you were just kind of off the cuff. Like, I'm here, you're there. Let's meet.
Yeah, I was flying out that night.
Yep.
Like I had like an 8-hour flight later. So like I'm in like travel mode. I have like 3 massive bags.
And a huge ski coat and a big backpack. You're like, I feel like a kid. I look like a kid. But
yeah, I look like I was like going back to ski school with like my massive like parka on. Like like I had all my ski stuff. So I'm like, I look a little ridiculous. But
okay. So who was there first? So who walked through the door?
So this was funny. So in the lobby of the WeWork in Tribeca, there were these really big club chairs, and I'm a nugget, so I can kind of hide anywhere. So I'm in these big club chairs, and I'm wanting to see him walk out before he sees me.
She's like, I need eyes before I commit to this.
I wanted to see the energy. All that. I wasn't gonna like stand you up or anything like that, but I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of the advantage, which sounds terrible, but welcome to womanhood.
I get it.
So I know all my girls would have done the same thing. So he comes out of the elevator and he kind of looks around and then he goes down the stairs, and I was like, oh wow, he's taller than I thought he'd be. Okay, and I knew that he was tall. Well, after.
No, you're like.
I thought you were short on your Raya profile. Not that there's anything wrong with short king. We respect a short king. But I just thought he was shorter than what he was. And then I realized, oh my God, he's like, what, 6'4", 6'5"? I was like, you are a large man. And I really like tall men. I just always have. Maybe it's because I think I'm 6 foot, even though I'm definitely not. So he walks out of the doors, and then I kind of sneak up behind him, and he does like a double take. I'm like, hi, sorry. I was like hidden over there in the corner.
You just walked by it, essentially.
Yeah, you totally walked by.
I had no idea.
Which was great, because I was just clocking him the whole way. I'm shocked you didn't feel my eyes like staring into you.
Yes.
But yeah, we had coffee. I got a table in the corner at Maman in Tribeca underneath this weird tree thing. And then he got us coffees and was walking over, and I took secret photos on my phone like a crazy psycho stalker chick. And I was taking photos of him so I could send it to my girlfriends and show my mom. And I was like, oh, he's so cute. He's so handsome. So yeah, we had a 90-minute coffee. I kept wanting to touch his leg, but I was like, Kendall, you're not allowed to do that. This is like, you've never met this man in person before. And then
we kissed after our coffee.
Yeah, we kissed after our coffee.
Which is kind of like
nuts.
It
was a peck. It was a very respectable
You
peck.
tried making out with me.
I did not try.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Sure.
No, it was great. It was perfect.
Hey, when you know, and you guys were feeling the energy, and he was about to leave for a trip, so you weren't going to get to see him anytime soon. So it was like, we're going in. I just need to have that moment of chemistry before you leave. Okay. So thank you guys for appeasing me with that and sharing all of the details. That was so fun to listen to. And I just think that your relationship is so special and so sweet how it started. And I think if people aren't in relationships, they can hear all of this and feel motivated and encouraged that they can still get the butterflies and they can still find love, whether it's on an app or in the wild. And I think that this is motivating. And for people that are in relationships, I think it's nice to see how you guys interact and you communicate and you think of each other and you both take on chores and tasks. And it's encouraging. So this week we asked people on our Wholeheartedly Instagram, which is at wholeheartedlypod. And we asked them, what are some questions or advice you're looking for in your relationship or a question about our relationships. And I don't think we've ever been flooded with so many inputs into our Q&A day on the gram. So I actually think we're going to spill this over to next week and dip back into these because there are so many. But I'm just going to hit you guys with a few and we can all kind of talk through it because I think they're really thought-provoking. So the first one, how do you stop yourself from wondering if the grass is greener in a relationship? And that's a hard one, because I think we're always trying to be better, find better, do better. How do you turn off that switch when you're now in a relationship and the butterflies are a little bit gone, the newness, the excitement is gone, and you guys can't speak to this because you're not 5 years into it. And my relationship is at 2.5 years, and it definitely doesn't feel the same way it did right when it started, right? And so how do you prevent yourself from always trying to be better and find better in your personal life, but not have that same propensity in your relationship by trying to wonder if there's a better one for you?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this actually like quite a few times. And I think at least her and I try to take a very like pragmatic approach to things in general. And I think you do need to learn though, like when you do have something so good, and appreciate it and be thankful for it and, embrace it. And, I think the problem with relationships in general and the, is it greener on the other side, is that, if a couple breaks up, then you have to like restart that process again. And like relationships aren't linear, and like happiness isn't linear. Like we're all human. We all have days. We all have seasons. Work changes, life changes, new endeavors. So like you go through them, and like, that's what a relationship is, right? So like to have this expectation that it's always going to be better is completely false, right? Like you go into a new relationship after the breakup, like you're going to have the same shit. You're going to have the same stupid arguments that are meaningless. You're going to have the same, baggage from past things. So it's like, you need to understand how good you have it. And the last thing I'll pass it to you is, I think being heartbroken in my past and her past is helpful, as wild as that sounds. And we talked about this too. I said, like, I can only date someone that's had their heart broken too, because you know what it feels like. You've had that, you have that on your sleeve, and it sucks. Like it really sucks. And it's an odd bond that you create automatically, knowing that you both felt those emotions that you didn't know you have. So anyways, yeah, I don't believe in that at all. Get better and prove yourself. But yeah, I don't think it's realistic.
Yeah, I think something that is helpful for us, and something that's been very different in this relationship than any other relationships that I've been in, is it's the only time I haven't thought about, could the grass be greener with somebody else? Is this not the right person for me? I think it's two prongs to it. One, I think with maturity and with life, you recognize it's a partner, and it's a true partnership, right? So you need to choose somebody that you're able to grow with. And to be able to grow with somebody, you have to have shared values and shared direction for your life, and you guys complement each other. Like Alex challenges me in really great ways because of his calmness and his kindness and his ability to distance himself from kind of the hyper emotions of things. I'm a very passionate, just like fiery person. And so I think we complement each other really well in that way. But, and one of my favorite things about Alex that's helped me kind of come out of my shell more with this is like, he is very clear with like the gratitude that he has for us in our relationship, and he verbally communicates it. I'm more of like an action person. Sometimes, as it's funny, as much as I talk, I get scared being vulnerable and telling somebody like my really raw, real emotions out of my mouth. I can write it. I can cook it. I can do it in other ways. I can sing it for you. But something about saying it and speaking to it is a little tougher for me. So he speaks to that, and it helps me feel safe to do that, and vice versa. So when it comes to, is there a relationship that could be better for you? I think it's more of a question of, are you in a relationship with somebody that allows you to grow and to evolve into your best self? And are you guys both complementing each other in that journey? Because there's going to be chapters where you're going to grow at different rates. And there's going to be chapters maybe where you're growing at the same rate. But it's the constant choice of choosing each other, because you know the shared values are there and they make it safe for you to be your best. I think that's when you know you're in the right one. You never have to worry about, is there someone who could be a better fit?
As somebody who renovates and designs homes, something that I've come to realize, and I think this is very analogous for the way I feel about this question, when somebody has an old house there and I come to work on it, there's so many old house problems, right? Like the roof is old and it's leaking. Well, not in Kendall's case, the roof is new and it's still leaking. But like the roof is old, it's 20 years old and you have to pay $80,000 for a new roof. And because the Maybe the plumbing is really old and it's cast iron pipes instead of PVC, and all of those need to be replaced. And its old house has old house problems. And so then they think, you know what? I'm not going to deal with all this shit. I'm just going to get a brand new construction home and I'm not going to have to worry about any of these things. In other words, the other house is greener, right? So they get into this new construction home and they're ready to make it their own. And then what they realize is that the old house had old house problems, but guess what? The new house has new house problems. For example, the foundation hasn't settled yet, and now there's cracks in all of the walls. And now you have to recompound all of the walls because of the settling that occurs over the first 6 months. And because nobody lived there before, it's brand new construction. The house hasn't been wired completely for all of the Sonos speakers that you want. And now you have to rewire and do all new electrical. And that's tens of thousands of dollars. And so the costs start adding up. And then you realize whether I'm in an old house or a new house, the problems are still there. So I need to figure out, how do I handle the problems better versus trying to find something without problems? Because no matter what relationship you're in, with your home, with your partner, there's going to be problems. And then it just comes down to, who do I want to handle those problems with? And to Alex's point, we all kind of go through seasons. We will have high points and really, really low points. And Dale and I recently had to have a really hard conversation because the last 2 years haven't been easy, especially for me. I've been going through a lot of hard stuff and trying to deal with it. And now he's kind of the one going through that. And the question in our relationship is like, okay, what if the next 2 years look like the last 2 years? And there's a lot of hard stuff. Do I want to sign up for that? And I'm just like, you know what? It's not about trying to figure out how to make the next 2 years better than the last two. It's about accepting that shit is going to happen. Things are not always going to be great. Who do you want to do that with? Who do you want to sit in the mud with, right? And that's who you pick. And there's nothing greener than that. That is who you pick. So yeah, new house, old house, pick whatever house you want to live in, but commit to that. Okay. Next one, which is really, really close to my heart because of how my engagement ended, but how to tell your partner you're struggling with your mental health. I know Kendall knows this very well, and I'm not going to get into my whole story on this episode, but you know, I opened up to my fiance a few years ago and shared that I was battling my mental health with an eating disorder, a very severe one. And he left me almost on the spot and called the engagement off and everything. And a big part of it was my fault because I held it in for so long. And I was so scared to be imperfect and that if I shared that, I wouldn't be worthy of marrying him and I wouldn't be lovable. But I also, when I got to the point of sharing it, I believed that my partner would, hold me instead of discard me and help me through it. And I basically have realized that if you're not able to be open and honest with your partner about the things that you're struggling with, then either it's because you trust that they won't love you through that, in which case that's not the right partner for you. Or you're so deep in your illness that you don't even realize you need help. And that's a whole nother seminar. But what are your thoughts on this, guys? How do you tell your partner that you're struggling?
She knows me so well at this point. Like she like this happened yesterday. She looked at me, she goes, "What are you thinking?" And it's not in like a bad way. She's like, "Talk to me. Like, let's like, are you okay? Like let's like, let me help you," kind of, So she, honest to God, it's happened probably more times than I would have liked to the past couple of weeks because it's been stressful with work and everything. But like, just looks at me and knows what's going through my head. Like, it's wild. And she like catches me there and makes me own up to it and talk to it, which is great because suppressing and keeping that internally is not helpful, is not good. So yeah, I mean, just based off your story and, your mission and really how you want to, help others, like our mental health has been on top of the totem pole from day one. Like, it's not taboo. It's not intimidating. It's not anything. And, sometimes you go, well, I don't want to like put this on you, or I say that to you, but no, like we have a very, very like open conversation about everything. And I think that's like something that I'm really proud of us for, is like, let's just talk. and let's be person to person or lover to lover and let's talk. And I think that's the best thing that could have ever done. So
yeah. And I think when you're trying to share that with a partner, there is always that fear of rejection, right? Especially when you're in such a dark mental health place, because you're speaking usually very ill to yourself and you've been listening to that voice and allowing that neural pathway to define you for so long. So the fear of abandonment or rejection or betrayal is so high because your inner self has already betrayed yourself in a way, and it's not something in a pressurized way that you're not a good person for that or you should be stronger. No, it's just part of dealing with a mental health challenge and with either a season or something that can be diagnosed. So I think what's very beautiful about asking for help, and it's something that I've had to really swallow my pride and my ego for, and it's helped me grow a lot, I think, as a woman in particular, is being able to understand that asking for help is actually providing someone an opportunity who loves you to give back to you. Because if you think about it, a lot of us who deal with mental health struggles love to go and help other people. We love to go and try to pour ourselves into others because it helps kind of fill that pain we feel internally. Yeah. And we have an empathy for it because we go through so much. But when you ask somebody for help, particularly someone that you love and that loves you, you're able to give them that opportunity to pour into you and to be that kind of that figure. And vulnerability is so powerful and it releases the burden. Like you can split the burden in a good relationship. You split the burden on everything, the life issues, the challenges, the struggles. Like when you're in a great relationship, it's a teammate. And some days you have 80% and they have 20%. The other days it flips. Never really will you be at 50-50, but you're in it together. And I think that's where if you have that foundation, that commitment that we split the challenge of whatever we meet it together, locked arms, eyes ahead, covering each other's backs. Like we go to war together, you'll come out of war together. But it's being able to look at your partner and say, I'm not at my best right now and I really need your help. And if they are someone who truly is ready to love you and pour into you, any ask that you make of them will never be too much. They'll love you for that. And if someone changes or doesn't respect that, then that's unfortunate for them, but they don't have the capacity and they have a lot of inner work they need to do on themselves.
I love how you reframed it as not a point of weakness when you ask for help, but it's a point of strength. And I know that when you're really struggling with something, it's so beneficial to have a partner who's an empath and can sense that something is wrong. In the way that, Kendall, you went to Alex and you're like, hey, what are you thinking? What's on your mind? And you're now giving him a place to share and feel that you really want him to share because you want to be there. And it's not a burden for him to share. You're inciting it and asking for it. So having an intuitive and empathic partner is huge. But something I've always realized is that if you feel like your partner is struggling, right, take it off of you and now look outside of yourself at your partner or one of your close friends. And if you feel like they're struggling, but they're not opening up to you about it or bringing it to you, one of the best ways you can get them to bring that wall down and open up and share is for you to first share what you're struggling with. So don't come to them with a, hey, is everything okay? Like, how are you doing? Like, obviously you guys are very close and that you say that and he's going to give you an honest answer. But some people, you say that and they still have the walls up and they don't want to give the answer. So what I have found is the best way to approach them is to say, hey, I've really been struggling with this lately, or I don't know if you might know my story, but I went through this and it was a really dark time. And you kind of show them that like your guard is down first. And I think it makes them feel more comfortable to also bring their guard down because they don't feel like they're going to get judged. Whatever they say is not going to be judged because you've already been there. In the same way that Alex didn't want to date somebody until he knew that their heart had been broken too, because it's almost like they're not going to, like Dale on our first date, I found out his engagement ended and I shared that mine, and it kind of allowed us both to not judge each other. And we felt like we were in a safe space to talk about it. So I think that's a huge one. Okay. The last one is somebody wrote into the pod, I want the best, in all caps. I want the best for my friends, and I struggle with how honest I can be with them about their dates. And I think something that's so great about our friendship, Kendall, and I can tell you and Alex have this too, is that we're painfully honest, but with as little pain as we can create while still being completely honest and transparent. And I struggle with people that are just trying to always make you feel good and always tell you what they think you want to hear, because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And I'm not going to get better, and I'm not going to be more insightful, and I'm not going to see things that I can improve if you're just making me feel like I'm the bomb all the time. So what are your thoughts on this?
Totally. I think what's important is it's a respect. It's showing somebody respect when you're honest with them. You can also learn when to say honest things, right? Like delivery is important. I can be a very, very direct person, particularly me as a teenager or middle school. My apologies to anybody I went to middle school with. I was very bossy. I got that on a report card. I think somebody said, she's lovely and she's very strong-willed, but she can be bossy. I think it shows leadership capabilities. Anyway,
you haven't been bossy to me, so
no, because I've learned, because
unless you use shitty tomato sauce from a can, then she's not bossy.
It was like Rouse or like the Carbone one. Like it wasn't like Prego. Like
Back to the point, like being honest with people, and it's a great way to build relationships. Like we live in a time now where everyone's afraid to offend somebody and everyone's afraid to say the wrong thing. And what's happening is we're losing our personal identities. We're losing what makes us singular and unique and fascinating, because we're all just kind of flocking into this groupthink mentality of, oh, I just won't say it because I don't want to hurt them, or maybe someone will think that I think X. It's killing us. I think what's so important is when you do love and care about somebody, you're going to be honest with them. That means that you care about their growth and their development. So, Alex has told me, or you've told me, or I've shared with other people, like different things that could make me better. And I think it's such an act of love, because it's not from a place of judgment that I'm less of a person because I have something I could work on. It's, oh my gosh, here's something that I think would be helpful to you or additive to you. And when you share that, you're telling somebody that you see their value and you want them to be even more and even greater and even more too much than they are now, right? Be more expansive. So if you can pour into someone's expansion by being honest and you can do it kindly, you should always do it.
Yeah, I'll add one really quick thing. If you love someone and you care about someone, definitely say something. But now here's how it should go down. Pretend you are the coach, okay? And whether it's a basketball team, a tennis team, whatever type of team. On that team, you have dozens of different personalities. And the way you deliver that message or that input matters, okay? So, if you don't love the guy for her or vice versa, like there is a delivery of that needs to come across that they can receive because of their personality. So maybe it's more crass, maybe it's more like soft and welcoming, and try to diffuse it completely. And maybe you put yourself out in the situation first, saying, hey, this happened to me before, and I kind of see this happening to you too, and just want you to see that. So you need to deliver it accordingly to the person.
Yeah, I think that's so valid. I think about my 3 siblings, and if I had to give them all the exact same news, I would deliver it entirely different, even probably not just like how I say it and how I intonate, but even just the method. Like one I would call, one I would voice note, and one I would text. And it's just because of how I know they would best receive it and handle it better, right? So I think that's so true, is kind of knowing your audience. But also, to Kendall's point, I love that you started out with respect, because you have to respect the person. If you are in my life, I will say this very clearly and unapologetically, if you are in my life and I'm not giving you insights into things that I feel like can be better, whether it's if we're on an install and you're asking how you're doing with something, or if you want advice about your social media and you send an edit before you post it, if I'm not giving you some sort of feedback and I'm just like, it's great, I'm not invested. Because I always have an opinion. I can't help it. Like, I was born with an opinion, and I'm, I guess, anti-demure in that way, but
I was just about to say that. Yes.
I feel something and I'm excited for you and I want to make it better. And I actually think Dale and I have struggled with this sometimes because I'm so direct. He'll send me a reel that he wants to post and I'll be like, hey, what do you think? And I'll be like, I think the beginning is too slow. I would change the music, make the caption shorter, and I give him all this feedback. And I've learned that I need to be like, I think it's really great. I love the creativity here. And then kind of go in with my Galey, like straightforward stuff, because I'm so eager to want to help him make it better that I just dive right in instead of thinking about like how my delivery is. So, but it's coming from a place of love. And I think that if people know you, they know that, and hopefully they receive it that way. So trust that your girlfriends know you, and when you want to give them your thoughts on their date, know your audience, know your delivery, and also make sure that you feel safe doing it because you know you're coming from a good place. Okay, well, I think that wraps up our Shadowman coming out of the shadows episode. And Kendall, I feel like you already have a song planned for this.
I think the song "Come Clean" by Hilary Duff is perfect. Not that the lyrics match us at all, but I feel like we're coming clean and he's out of the shadows and it's Alex. It's not Shadowman anymore. It's Alex. The other thing that's really great, sorry, babe, I have to put you on blast for this, but Alex has great taste in music. And I was going through his Spotify. We were like driving to the grocery store or something. And I see this playlist called Guilty. And I was like, guilty? What are you guilty about? Thinking it's going to be like a spicy playlist or something. Oh, no. It is all guilty pleasure songs. And I have to say, babe, I'm proud of you.
They're so good. I don't even know the lyrics. What was the one lyrics? I messed up.
Oh. Something about making me breakfast and it's not.
Saving me breath.
Oh, yeah. Leaving me breathless. Go on, go. And he thought it was making me breakfast. I'm like, babe.
Listen to the lyrics. I truly don't know the meaning of these songs, but I don't know. I don't know the meaning of the songs, of necessarily the lyrics, but they have a feeling to it, and it's a good feeling. It's kind of like childhood reminisce, But
it's by the Cores, very 90s. It's go on, leave me breathless. But to Alex, it's making me breakfast.
No, I actually thought
it's the energy. He's feeling the energy of these songs. Who cares about the words and that it's like 15-year-old girls like beat bopping? But like the fact that he likes the energy to Hilary Duff's "Come Clean." I think she came out with that when she was on Lizzie McGuire, which is a long time ago.
And it was on the hills it was Laguna Beach. It was the Laguna Beach opening. So fire.
And so the last thing I'll say in closing is that by no means did you and I mean to like make me into this like Shadowman character and like be annoying and like let me hide him and like make it this like huge story. Like honestly, it was just from a place of protecting each other. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said to start, just you wanted to know you wanted to show that you were in a relationship, and I did too. And like, we just wanted to protect each other from not nice people. People say crazy stuff out there. So we just wanted to keep it very simple, and we're solid. We wanted to stay solid, and like didn't need to give anyone a reason to say stuff or it's just so unnecessary. So
yeah, you got to protect what someone gave me great advice, and she told me early on. She's in the industry, and she said, Kendall, you have to protect what you keep sacred, because the second that things are out, it's no longer your story. It's no longer completely owned by you. So not to be secretive, but to protect the things that really matter. And so because we're at a place and our foundation is so set and we're spending so much time together, it's just getting difficult, like, not having photos together. And I want to share that of our relationship now. So don't ever feel like you have to be pressured to do something until you feel it's time and you feel it's ready. And I don't care what it is, whether it's a step in a relationship, whether it's a career choice.
It can be anything. It can be making a dinner. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just do it on your terms. Do what you need to do. And like, no one else's opinion matters. Like, I don't care what people are doing. And they're like, do your thing. Like, that's it. Like,
do your thing.
Do your thing.
At the end of the day, you have to protect the asset, and your relationship is the asset, right? So protect it. CIA Susie, I'm sure, can vouch for that. And the people that would nag you and send you rude and hateful messages about you keeping it private are also the first ones to criticize it and say hurtful things that are also completely untrue and based on nothing when you do come out with it. So
I can't wait to feed the beast and let the haters play, but whatever. It is what it is. And we're happy and, we're
doing it, and we're
living.
We're living. We're just like everyone else.
I'm confident that none of those people that are the beast you're feeding are listening to this, because the people who are here, I think, are very similar to us and on similar paths, and they totally get it. So just want to thank you all so much for being here and letting us do this and allowing yet another space for Kendall to take her power back and kind of write her own narrative. And I'm so here for it too. So thank you guys. I think we're going to skip the what we're working on because we went a little long, but we love you. We appreciate you. You can follow our pod at Wholeheartedly Pod on Instagram. You can follow Kendall at Kendall Tool. You can sign up for her newsletter at kendalltool.co. And definitely, that's probably the hottest take you should take away from this, besides all the great relationship talk, is that you have to sign up for that. And I'm at Galey Alex, and we love you guys with
our whole hearts. Thank you all so much, Galey. You are a rock star. You're a heck of an interviewer, babe.
Yeah, that's great.
You got a whole career. I love it. But you are the best. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the space. And we have more fun stuff coming up for you this very next week. So we love you. Do it with your whole heart. And we will see you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey girlies, I'm Cody Rigsby.
And I'm Andrew Chappelle.
We're here to announce our brand new podcast, Tactful Pettiness.
Now on Podcast One.
We have a lot of opinions. Flip-flops in New York City? You don't love yourself.
If I'm not seated, I'm not tipping.
Do I want to see a picture of your baby?
No. If I have to scroll more than 10 seconds, he's not cute.
Settling gets you an ugly boyfriend. So we're going to help you out.
We sure are, because we have the life expertise.
We have mastered throwing shade with intention.
We are in the business of helping you find and keep your man.
And we're here to teach you the fine art of tactful pettiness.
Join us each week as we traverse the world of pop culture,
chat with our celebrity friends,
and show you how to accept yourself without taking life too seriously.
Get new episodes of Tactful Pettiness with me, Cody Rigsby.
And me, Andrew Chappelle.
Every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Stay petty, bestie.